This is the most recent finals, grand finals. So we're in for a good match. It's a best of 9. Tune in with us for the entire day, and we'll bring you some excited Age of Empires. So
interesting. His ranking didn't load. Wonder if should be fine. Yeah, that's all.
Yep. My UI is functional, and we're just loading in. So here we are, game number 1 in the best of 9. It's the ESOC Tours Grand Finals, and in the northwest of the map, we do have Kaiserklein playing as the civilization Germany in the color blue. He's going to pick up a nice 50 wood treasure by his base. And in the southeast of the map is Knuschelbär playing the French civilization in the color green, and he picks up an early macaque. So
yeah,
it looks like
I would say both players starting off with 200 wood, so they're going to be building a trading post first, which is what you see from both German and French when you start. And Kaiser also crack shotting his 50 wood up here is going to really accelerate his house as well.
Yeah, that's great. It's going to cut down 50 wood that he has to chop for his house.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want when you're doing a TP opener like this. I mean, he's building his house already at less than 1 minute in, so he's got no idle time, and he'll definitely be able to pull off the target age of 17 bills with that.
Yeah, that's correct. So we do see in the middle of the map, Knuschelbär is sending his native scout that he spawns with to pick up these 2 pairs of goats that spawn in the middle. And he's able to do that because it was a wood start, like you said, and the German player is building his trading post. And so actually, like, the French player is going to have quite a nice livestock advantage, especially with this early macaque treasure that can also pick up goats.
Yeah, livestock is really an underestimated H1 thing to pick up, because what it does, it provides you with really fast gathering food, and you don't even need to waste Explorer HP or a crack shot. It's something that a native scout can essentially collect, and it's really hard to put a value on the native scout just because of, like you said, of the ability to pick up all these different livestock. And we're seeing 6 livestock to basically 0 or 1.
Yeah.
Like 0 from.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of idle time on this macaque here in Age 1 by Knuschelbär. Potentially he could have picked up this goat, but instead it looks like that's going to go to Kaiser.
Yeah, which is all right. He's got a lot of other things going on right now. He's trying to pick up this 80 wood down here in the middle of the map, or 80 food in the middle of the map. And interesting. I wonder if he doesn't have his crack shot yet. There we go. Just taking a couple of shots there, and this goat might get converted over by Kaiser as well. So. Two goats for Kaiser that he probably shouldn't have let go of, but
yeah. So yeah, it looks like France is going to have a nice goat lead. He already has 7-2, and oftentimes I think that you were kind of the one to kind of set this rule of thumb, but 8 livestock animals is kind of the crucial number for a livestock pin. But I think it can be viable with something like 7, like Knuschelbär has. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you can probably do 7. He just picked up his 8th by stealing back that 1 goat. But yeah, I think 8's a good number. Which you don't want. The thing is, there's definitely a payoff period for when livestock, when you put them on the pen to when they pop off the pen. So you really want it to be like really high impact when you do that. And so, and you can always eat them without putting them on the livestock pen too. So that's why I've always kind of gone with the number 8. Anything 8 or more, it feels like when the animals come off the livestock pen, you're getting a really significant impact.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that timing hits a lot kind of in early Fortress when you're getting your crates to spam units with the food boost.
Yeah,
you can just get
wood.
Yeah. But Kaiserklein is stealing that goat, taking it back with him. Maybe that could have been corralled a little better by Knuschelbär, but
he has 9 goats right now.
Yeah, he's still with he lost the 1. I think he has 8, but still that's an insane number.
I think I'm looking at, you're right, he's got 8 in his base, my bad. Yeah, but I mean, that's crazy. So, especially in this type of matchup where France has a tough time spending their 700 wood shipment. Usually they'll use it on 2 racks in a stable, and they can never really run all 3 of those. So it's not that bad to just sit on 1 rack, 1 stable, and just convert that right over. But there's a contention going on right here. And I mean, Kaiser taking the last shot there and stealing 80 coin. And Knuschelbär taking all the damage, and now he's going to get his Explorer Kaiser down here, I think. Kaiser will kill this guy before he ages.
I don't know. I think it's going to be close.
Why did he give up on it? He made a mistake.
He's out of range now.
Yeah, see, he did not plan to do that.
Yeah,
he definitely would have had.
might have been some sort of weird pathing, but yeah, you said Knuschelbär is going to click up here, and you'll get that nice hit point boost.
Livestock timing.
Yeah,
That's
and
an
he's
early livestock.
and he's building the pen. I like it. I like it early in transition, before the 700 wood or something.
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
like
slow
that
down
too,
his
actually.
it's gonna slow down his 5 Hus a bit, but I don't really think France wants to get his hussars into the German base in the early game, so I think it's okay.
I think so too, and I think what he did was he just delayed hunting dogs, and he's sending 700 wood right now. It seems fine. I mean, I like a lot of these builds where you send 700 wood first, just because it's such an accelerator when you first hit Colonial. I'm not not as big of a fan of the like 4 build first type cards because you can't build a livestock kind of like this in transition and have no impact to your build if you send 4 builds first. Like just not possible. So I fully expect 700 wood to pop in for Knuschelbär here, but he goes for 4 builds anyway.
4 CDB. And we'll see how this affects this Hussar batch. If I go to units in queue, he does have 1 Hussar trained in here. And he's chopping some wood for what I can assume is steel traps.
He's got steel traps halfway in, I think.
Yeah, must be the house.
Really hard here.
So we do see the first 2 Uhlans from Germany get 2 free Uhlans in H2 with every shipment. And he trains 5 out of his stable. So already Germany has a nice 7 cav force. And France is going to he's going to want a full batch of 5 Hussars to deal with this.
Kaiser's pulling his Explorer, but I don't know where, like, it's cool, but I don't know where it's going.
Maybe he's just showing off. I didn't quite have the camera on it, but...
Yeah, you just, like, pulled his Explorer all the way back to his base. This Nave Scout is really well positioned, and this is where you want to put it on this map, because a lot of times the path to your opponent is, the shortest one at least, is just straight down the middle. And now Knuschelbär, although he did miss 5 of the calves, so he only saw 4 come through, he's going to find out real soon if this market's spotting for him, but he may be a little surprised with that. And only 4 Hussar out on the first batch with another Hussar in the queue.
Yes.
Minutemen on the way, though. Minutemen are on the way.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice Minutemen pop. He called him early enough to get a lot of value out of him. He's not going to lose.
Walking around the corner
one CDB is targeted. It's not going to escape.
And Kaiser doing a really nice job too of target firing the Hussar with all his Wuhan just to get desnared. So, like you said, he got a pretty good cap trade and picked up a CDB, and now the Minutemen are going to get drained out here. And like you said, the idle time too is really going to lead to less Hussars coming out. We see another batch of 4.
And we only get another batch of 4. And this is really the strength of Germany, even in EP where they nerfed hit points by 10, and so Hussars kill them in 1 hit sooner in Colonial Age. They really get a really quick cavalry presence, and sort of the meta in this game is the cavalry semi-FF, and so they really excel in that in H2. It's difficult to keep up if, like we said, if Knuschelbär went for this early livestock pen, it just kind of slowed down his build.
Yeah, definitely. And Kaiser building a Rax, but also just saving the age. Like he's clearly like he's gonna probably make 1 more bill on that age, would be my guess. AZ and goats right now just to try to accelerate that. But at the same time, these livestock are going to start popping off right around now, I would imagine. Yeah, any second now they'll be fat. And Knuschelbär can probably age as well without much trouble.
Yeah, he should.
It's always amazing how many calves Germany can make and still beat France the Fortress Age.
Yeah.
Like, look at how many calves he's made. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and he's still aging. Some kind of nice cheeky play. Kaiserklein was leading with his Explorer into the space, trying to pick off these 0 HP Minutemen, and now he's trying to pull his Explorer away to try and save him because that Explorer is so huge against these Minutemen because there are no other ranged infantry units on the floor for the German player. But instead he's going to just back up, content that he's aging, and almost discovers a native scout, but not quite.
Yeah, it's really fortunate for Knuschelbär. Having that native scout out there and having it still not be detected, really important to know when Germany's coming and what they're coming with. And like we said, Germany getting up and starting right away with the skirm and the Wuhan batches that we would expect, and beating France at the Fortress stages, which is pretty normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Even with the livestock, which are now ramping in quite hard. You probably didn't sell 100 food here to get up. Yeah, you just did. And now Knuschelbär on the way up as well. There's going to be this window of time when the first German shipment comes in, along with Vet Wuhan. If Kaiser kind of times that all together, where he can really do a lot of damage. I've also noticed though that Kaiser gets his Vet Wuhan a lot later than most players, so I'm not sure what he's thinking with that. I think maybe it's just because of how hard it is to get the wood for both that upgrade and all the housing we need.
Yeah, and I was going to say I'm interested to see what Kaiser's first shipment is in H3, and it is 1,000 woods, so it's not going to be quite as aggressive. He's not going to really utilize the direct window that he's in H3 and France is in H2, but what it is going to do is it's going to ramp up his timing later on in the game. Oh, that was really nice. It's getting away.
Yeah, he passed 5 cab in front of it and just totally denied that.
And I think he pulled it at the very end with these extra villagers here at the hunt. So Kaiser is, I think, one of the best in the games at sort of these miniature micro usage to save villagers. It's really impressive.
Yeah, his mechanics are really strong in general.
Yeah.
And he's always had difficulty with civ depth and added some new civs lately. So I think that's a lot of the reason why he's been able to go so deep is because he's always had the skill.
Yeah.
Still the Wuhan on the way. No Wuhan in the queue, and he's got the resources. He's got to start that attack. Like I said, always comes a little bit late for Kaiser. I'm not sure why. But there it is, starting right now.
All right.
And I like this play too, just sieging the racks. Wuhan had a lot of attack and also a lot of siege. So a lot of times people try to force like these weird engagements where you cannot get all your Wuhan in combat. And when you do things like force down the racks like this, you make them come to you. And look at even this one Wuhan down here just poking away.
Oh, but yeah, it gets grouped up with the rest. Otherwise, it could have been a
CDB. He's going to go on this. Yeah. Skirms are right in range of the goons. There's only a handful of them. And Kaiser picking up a bunch of the Minutemen here too.
Yep, there aren't quite enough Dragoons for the French player, but he is doing a nice job keeping them alive. There's still 3 up.
Yeah. Kaiser just couldn't get his skirms anymore forward with the Hussar going in there, but still a really good trade for Kaiser, I'd like to think. A 40 military pop to 14, and Germany just needs to push the issue here and deny the mining.
Yeah, and he hasn't even shipped.
That mine only has 300 gold on it, so there's a lot of opportunity to zone him off that front line.
Definitely, and Germany's up all this military population, and he hasn't even shipped any of his great military population cards, like 9 Uhlans, 8 skirmishers. And so I think Germany's going to have a really scary mass coming in about the next few minutes, I think, when those cards hit. Because he was able to get away with the crates early on. And that's just a more economic kind of build. It really ramps up your timing too. Like when you said, when France is going to run out of resources in base, which is going to be pretty soon.
Yeah, and I almost won. The 2 Falcons is kind of France's saving grace in this matchup, but I think Kaiser just clicked on the Jaegers. I never know the pop between the 2, but it seems like Black Riders would be okay here because they could snipe the cannons, but really Jaegers would give him a huge boost in his strength.
Yeah, it's really difficult when the opponent has Jaegers to catch up in the skirm battle because they trade so well with regular skirmishers.
Yeah, and you see what Kaiser's doing with his army right now. Like he's cycling it up here because that's where he needs his army to be. And he's vulnerable over here a little bit, but what's nice about where his army is positioned right now is he can cycle that army kind of along this path, and then as he's walking to make his attack, he knows he's not going to get like counterattacked along the way.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job keeping his economy, the bulk of his economy, protected here, and he has built this house for line of sight, which we see a lot of players do, especially on gold mines, just because it gives you a little bit of time to be proactive from raids. And
yeah. And look, the wall's up now, and the army's going to cycle back through. Oh, Black Riders, there it is. Those will really round out his composition, and probably be used, quite frankly, to snipe the cannons. And if Kaiser does make a push here when Knuschelbär is out in the middle of the map, especially if he walks over the Stead Explorer, it's going to be like if he shows his army, Kaiser will know exactly how much damage he can do.
Yeah, and Knuschelbär is training 5 cuirassiers, so that's where all of his resources were being dumped. So these Black Riders are going to be especially brutal in Kaiserklein's composition, and there's just not enough here.
This could be game. It could, like a game-forcing push could come from Kaiser. And the Goon's getting snared here, losing almost 1 right out the gate.
The Falcons are here. The CDBs are here to kind of tank. It's going to be kind of a tricky engagement for Germany. He really needs to just, I think, slam all this tab in there.
He's going for it. Just slam that in there. Look at how well packed those Wuhans are, just engaging right on top of the cursor.
Oh yeah, and already 1 Falcon is dead. The second one's going to fall.
Black Riders are running out here now. They'll probably get that last cure, but then they're all safe. So even when this fight's over, there's still a ton of Black Riders left to prevent, say, the 3 tier ship.
Yep, this is just great positioning for Kaiserklein. And he's going to clean up this fight pretty darn well. I mean, all these cures are going to fall down to the Black Riders. The CDB are coming in to try to tank. Kaiserklein has to be careful not to...
Nicely kiting them too, not overdoing it on them. He's still focusing down the goons with the skirms, and the Black Riders are getting shut down on the CDB. I'm not sure how Knuschelbär is going to be able to stabilize through this.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a lot of just resource missing from this idle time as well for these villagers walking.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any safe mines anymore. So the German player's in a decisive advantage here. 5 more Cuirassiers coming out, but that's not really what you want against. There's still 7 Black Riders alive.
Yeah, and there's going to be more Ulan coming. Germany's definitely about to get a shipment if they haven't already got one. I may have missed that, but if they'll have a shipment soon. There it is, 9 Ulans, followed by another shipment. And that's the classic German thing. You know, it's like, oh, well, I've dealt with all their Ulans, but now there's 15 more, 30 seconds later.
And now
he's going off to raid at probably the worst possible time here because this dead hunt is definitely visible to Kaiser, and he looks like he's walking straight for it.
Yep. And it's a potential that Germany loses some villagers here, but not for nothing. He's going to pick off some CDBs as well and really press the issue on the French army. And
like, do villagers even matter at this point? Like, if you have double the opponent's military population, do you actually care if you lose every villager you have?
Yeah, that's true.
On top of their ego.
That's true. The 5 Cuirassiers are still raiding. He decided not to bring him back, but there's too much stuff here. Kaiserklein has to push this, I think.
Yeah, Kaiser is. I think he doesn't see it yet.
No, all those villagers are going to die to that raid, but...
But who cares? Like, all of the studio right here, Knuschelbär just got to tap out, and GG.
And he calls GG. So game number 1 in the best of 9 series is going to Kaiserklein. I'll reflect that in the score. Good game for both players.
Our interjection not being here, we'll get a quick absolutely. Okay, let's bounce out of game.
Sure. Oh, I forgot to look at the post-game graphs. Whoops, I'll do that next time. Yeah, the livestock pen was not enough to save the France player here. He just kind of got behind in the cavalry count early in the game, and Germany just had a quicker build.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, so now Kaiserklein as the victor in game 1 will choose his civilization first, lock in, and then Knuschelbär has the opportunity to get what he thinks might be a favorable matchup.
Yeah, so we've got, here's the map pool. So it looks like loser vetoes, so Nush vetoes. Kaiser picks. Oh, I forgot actually. Shoot, because then Kaiser also has to pick map, right? Or did I do it wrong? It's gotta be Kaiser vetoes. Nush picks. It always goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, I'm going to grab a glass of water. I'll be right back.
I'm checking his 2 vetoes.
What are you, brother? How much?
Yeah, someone's told me they can veto 2 maps. Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, parallel rivers. That's a very interesting choice. I haven't seen anyone really going for that early on in the series.
Yeah, I would have guessed that would have been vetoed, but
Well, there's only Kaiser gets 2 vetoes. He can only veto so many non-TP
that's
maps.
true.
The thing is, the pool is for TP civs, so.
Yeah, and that's definitely, like you said, the shallower part of Kaiserklein's civ depth area.
Yeah, there's no resets in the entire best of 9, so he's really gonna have this may be a good test for the rest of the series. If he's able to pull through on this game.
For sure. So, parallel rivers, definitely not a bad map. Some players are not too keen to play on it just because it's a pretty interesting layout and resource distribution, and also the rush distance is pretty small between town centers. But I'm interested to see what the players opt for in terms of civs.
Yep, and we said Kaiser is to pick first, so that's going to be the biggest question mark. I mean, Knuschelbär loves playing Brit in India as well in 1v1s, I believe. So either one of those civs are on the table for this map.
Yeah.
India's gotta be good here. I mean, I've only played this map a couple times, but just with how close the TCs are and the hunted situation isn't exactly crazy. Plus, there's like 12 livestock at the top of the map to basically replace your missing TP.
It's a very good map for India. The one drawback is placing the aggro can get kind of awkward because I don't, there are those chokes in the middle of the map, and if that's denied, you have to sort of kind of go up and around, and it can get dicey, but definitely a good map for India. And India is just a good kind of all-around civ, especially with the house costing 20 less wood.
Yeah, and I guess this seemed obvious. I forgot about Russia. I mean, I feel like it's in his civ pool, but Russia I just don't think is very strong lately, and it always feels like it's a weaker spot in Kaiser's lineup. So good that he's getting it out there at the right time. If he's really going to have to work a little bit in overtime here to win this game, though. I think, especially if we see like an India come out or something that just naturally Russia.
Yeah, I think so too. You did mention that Knuschelbär also kind of likes Brit, but I think he'll save that pick for later. I don't know if this is necessarily the greatest map for Brit, especially against Russia, which is a sort of contained civ. And Dutch.
Well, this could be a good situation. I forgot about Dutch as a good pick on a non-TP map, but I feel like Dutch is also out of the civs that we've named so far. Dutch is probably one of the more vulnerable to just the Russia kind of shenanigans that happens with the Cossack and musket pushes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Russia can definitely gear up for a timing push when Dutch is aging, and it's difficult for Dutch to hold those with their sort of lack of good anti-cav in H2. They do have 8 pike shipment, but it's not ideal to send that by any means. And as well, 8 pikes is not a whole lot of anti-cav versus what can really turn out to be really cost-efficient and cheap Cossacks that trade really well with boyars. But we'll see how it goes. Dutch can definitely do a lot of things in their favor to help them defend well. But we are launching into the game. This is game number 2 in our best of 9, the ESOC tournament, season tournament grand finals. In the east of the map, we have Knuschelbär, playing as Dutch in the color green. And in the west is Kaiserklein, playing Russia in the color blue. And it looks like it was a wood start. Both players are going to be starting with 200 wood. However, neither is necessarily going to use it in H1, but potentially there could be some market shenanigans, but I don't expect to see that. And so that'll just, well, actually Dutch is laying down a market, so.
Yeah, Knuschelbär did this last time too. He managed to find some build against Mito where he was able to build a market in H1, get hunting dogs, and still match Mito. He out-treasured Mito pretty substantially to be able to do it though. And interestingly enough, neither player seems to be putting like peak priority, if you would, on getting the goats. The envoy is heading up there, and Kaiser instead going for a 35 wood treasure, probably going to be pitching 6 goats for 35 wood, which seems questionable.
Yeah, and the Russian player decided to lay down a market as well when he saw that wood treasure, so
That's probably what he was thinking, was he would just go out there and get a market instead. But
yeah, like you
6
said, I
goats
mean,
is a lot of goats. Although Knuschelbär also at the same time is not going for. Oh, he sees Kaiser going for the 80 coin, and maybe I don't know if he's able to make it over here. I think Kaiser's got this for free, basically.
He could deny the rest of the goat pickups though, for sure. Get a lot of damage done on this explorer, while the envoy
Envoy's not even going for the ones on the right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely he will after he gets these closest to Kaiser's Town Center. And so, yeah, Dutch is actually going to make out of here with 9 goats to 0, potentially.
12 to 0.
12, yeah, that's right. I did my math wrong. And that's that's a lot of goats.
Yeah, that's a Dutch pen situation, I think.
The one thing is, though,
you want a pen as Dutch, but that might be it.
Yeah, I mean, like we saw last game, like building the livestock pen slows down your build, especially as Dutch, who use a lot of wood to get their banks up. So this could be one of those times where you decide you elect not to build the pen, but you can still have the option to eat those goats for the faster food gathering rate in order to age up a little sooner versus a civ like Russia, which doesn't want you to reach H3.
That's true. I mean, you're right. He may not even be able to do. He may not be able to do it that way, but we'll see what he goes for, because he did get his early market, so he'll have maybe a little bit extra wood. But to your point, there'll be a lot of Russian pressure, so maybe he'll just eat them in mid-colonial or something like that to be able to both age and make like the extra 5 hussar that could help them hold.
Yeah, guess
really the entire objective of Dutch in this matchup is trying to get to fortress as soon as possible without being completely dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Because once Dutch gets fortress and his Reuters online and the ability to send those big shipments like 1,000 wood, it's a lot harder for Russia to really do much to them.
Yeah, definitely. And Knuschelbär clicking up at 245. I think that's he's got 15 villagers, so that's 1 villager later than Dutch normally clicks up, but he's still going to be up before Russia. Not a big deal by any means.
Kaiser getting 1 goat. Wow, there you go.
There we go. Let's look at all units. It's 11 goats to 1. So
yeah, but Knuschelbär picking up 65 food on the left, 30 coin here, and his goats went around this, so he does know about the 90 wood that Kaiser is starting right now, and Kaiser doesn't have enough explorer HP, and he's not aging. So unless this lion has a really good kind of bounce here, it's gonna be really tough for him to get it before Knuschelbär gets here.
Yeah.
And I mean, by really good, he's got to hit it like 3 more times at least.
Yeah, but Knuschelbár's explorer is kind of out of position. He's not really beelining it, and Kaiser's doing a really nice job. He's getting really favorable resets here for this micro.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. So there you have it, man. 90 wood. That's a big treasure.
That's huge.
Especially with when you're trying to walk bills forward and build a blockhouse. That's
Oh yeah, and it looks like this is gonna be a pretty forward blockhouse. Oh, very forward. I thought he would settle to build it in this choke here in this cliff or valley, but
yeah, he's completely sampoing this. Like this is
for sure.
Like I can fit the town center and the blockhouse on the same screen.
Yeah, that's very aggro. The nice thing that Dutch has going for him is if he herds properly, he'll have a decent amount of hunts under his TC.
Yeah.
I would maybe have liked to see him corral this guy in, but
yeah, if he moves this one forward enough, he'll have enough hunts to the point where if he can't even get out there to herd that hunt by the water, he's probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Kaiserklein, a few goats too, just to get the banks up faster.
Yeah. Kaiserklein was snared by the Dutch explorer, but he sacrificed his goat to block the snare and then deleted it. So he's going to save his explorer scout, which is a nice thing to have. This envoy is coming in to scout the aggressive blockhouse, so Knuschelbär is wary of that, and he sent 700 wood first, which generally is it is typical. Sometimes players elect for bank wagon start versus more aggressive builds, but I think either.
Where is he going to fit the stable? He's got to build a stable, right? Or maybe a rack. Where is he going to fit it? I'm trying to figure out where he can put his military building, and I'm not like maybe if he does racks, he can put it near the market, but like that's the big question here.
He's not building one. I wonder if he's going to send Colonial Militia next. He just sent a card.
Wow.
He gets the villager in. There is no great code on these villagers, so they don't have all the hit points.
Feels dangerous. I mean, not gathering with all your villas is pretty tough at this time. The game. Minutemen coming out will force him out.
And that's an early Minutemen. Russia's going to be
basically it was half a Cossack, right? I mean, it got one volley.
Yeah. And so Russia's just going to exit out of there. no problem. And if
Yeah,
we look
Kaiser
at
didn't even train units, right?
no, I'm looking at text completed. He went for steel traps instead. A lot of times Russia has to make that decision when they click up, whether they want to make a batch of musketeers or get steel traps. And actually does, and yeah, so now the first batch of musketeers come out. So it's a little delayed, and he's adding down a second blockhouse, not on top of the first one, but I don't think that's too important in this matchup. Usually Dutch is not going to be pressuring the blockhouse per se, so he's just locking
really
down
like
more
base
map.
building. Really nice base building by Knuschelbär here.
Yeah.
Creating this little pocket where he can both gather and put hunts and also kind of hide a little bit. These musketeers coming here clean up all the way to Minutemen. Where are the vulnerable vills at? Looks like they've already been garrisoned right on top of that. There's one, the two by the bank that's being built are very vulnerable though.
Yeah.
You can see those.
And Knuschelbär pulled back the low HP one a little sooner, but wasn't enough to get it inside the town center.
No.
Almost didn't
There's
work.
so many low HP vills out here. Oh my goodness.
There's so many low HP, yeah. And
yeah, he can't on garrison.
I mean, units in queue, 3 Hussar queued for Knuschelbär. He's going to have to trade coin to get food if he wants to get more out of here. But the important thing is there's no Minutemen, so these Musketeers are going to be a threat. And he's smartly splitting up TC fire, trying not to overkill these Musketeers.
Yeah, and then 3 Hussars are going to come out. Knuschelbär also has no vills in queue right now, so although he could, he is not. And this happens. We see this a lot when you see a lot of pressure and a rush. It gets hard for players to keep their villager protection up.
Yep, and 8 pikemen come out, but they're not going to do a lot because there's no racks for the Dutch player. There's no anti-infantry.
Yeah.
And there's not even a stable up for the Russian player, so there's not going to be a whole lot of more Cossacks coming in. He is going to build a barracks in the back of his base, and he's eating a couple goats to accelerate his resource production.
Yeah, and this is really where the decision point is for Dutch, is if they're going to try to age up right away, or are they going to try to mix in 5 or 6 skirms here. And I think at this point, when there's 20 musketeers outside your door, you're going to have to. Nicely putting up a wall segment here to buy some time. If that second segment gets up here, it'll really make it hard for the musketeers to come in.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there a gap anywhere here? How is there no gap? That's crazy. Oh, so many ways to villagers too. Knuschelbär could easily have lost. What would that be? A third of his villagers could easily be dead right now.
And he's got to be careful here. Wow, these musketeers are having difficulty getting the range on these villagers. The villagers still don't have great cope, but Knuschelbär still only lost 1 villager so far. And he's bringing in his explorer. He's going to try to shoot these low HP villagers without overkilling them with the TC. This is about as efficient as you can get with town center fire and explore defense.
Yeah.
So.
People really don't do enough justice to having the explorer up and snaring off these last ones. Kaiser understands how valuable it is, willing to take almost basically lose a free Cossack just to kill the 1 HP explorer to stop that.
Yeah, and Dutch is clicking up. He has the resources to go, and he's just hit the button. And
that's the livestock effect we were talking about, right? It's getting out a few extra units, but still clicking up, and Kaiser's still putting the pressure on, but he'll be up soon.
He will. This will be a pretty. I mean, Russia is going to put up a mass here. He does have a stable up. I expect Boyars to be the next card, so his army is going to be quite improved. And
but no shipment from Dutch right now, and these 5 bills are going to get boxed out here too.
Yeah, he's got to be careful here. Dutch did send 600 wood, but he hasn't been able to really gather much of it. He's built a market, so he will be able to trade resources. That's a very nice thing to have when you're under pressure.
Yeah, especially Dutch.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Content to park on this bank, which I don't know if that's necessarily the strongest of choices, but I mean, it is the lowest risk. It's always a good thing.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go down though before shipment. Oh wait, like you said, the
no
Dutch player. Yeah, you're right.
And these 5 Cossacks make 7, and that is a big deal. Wow, 5 more. You want, when you're in a position like this, you want to have handicap just to force the issue, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Yep.
Who cares about the pikemen? I just want to kill all your stuff.
Yeah, and Knuschelbär is kind of forced to sacrifice these pikemen because he's trying to get these 5 villagers away.
And these 5 villagers are not getting away.
No, and skirms are popping up, but they're on the wrong side. There's nothing to protect them. 2 Reuters, and there's no synergy between these 2.
Kaiser has not seen the 5 skirms. The only thing that he has going for him right now is now he's going to see him,
Oh, but the skirms got grouped to run through the musketeers, trying to save these 2 Reuters.
Well, it's going to be 9 Reuters, but I just don't see 9 Reuters making a difference here.
No.
When you lose 5 vills, it's 18 to 35 even before these 5 vills.
Yeah, and
Guys are going full shipment.
Russia's spitting out a lot of infantry batches here, a lot of military batches. They're really hitting their timing. Still no boyars yet, though, but that's okay because
he chose 13 Strelets instead. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And you look at this, Knuschelbär even forced to use some of his wood on a second market just to close that gap.
Yeah, and the Spank is still lower HP. Units in queue, 3 skirmishers, the Dutch player. It's just going to be difficult for him to get enough military units to contest this, what is now extremely large Russian batch. I mean, 64 military to 15.
Holy cow, look at all those Strelets.
Yeah,
and that wall has a lifespan of like 3 seconds with this many units. And Kaiser's Explorer also finding the house builder over there.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. And I mean,
look at his pop. He's got 34 pop. There's no way he's holding this.
No way. The skirmishers do have 4 more range than Strelets, but you can't really kite anywhere. I mean, he's kind of already in his base. These Strelets are so in a not very expensive that the Russian player doesn't really care if they die, as long as they're getting some value for them.
I mean, he just wants to develop his opponent. Like the key here, like we were talking about, is if Dutch can get up and make units in the fortress age, it can get tough. But as it stands right now, if this army dies, the Strelets are getting passed quite poorly here.
That is really awkward.
That's a good start. A good start for Knuschelbär here. He needs to really be able to clear all those Cossacks.
Oh, but
they're getting through.
The skirms are pathing weird too. I mean, they're just walking into the. There's just nowhere for the Dutch player to go with his army.
Yeah, he's created quite a little pocket of destruction. It was good in the early game, but now it's kind of biting him, right?
Yeah, he can't get out, and I mean, so 5 more skirmishers are coming down. He's trying to bring down the remaining Reuters to fight off these Cossacks, but there's just so much military from the Russian player kind of everywhere in Knuschelbär's base. It's really difficult to escape from.
Yeah, 13 villagers to 41, you know, without recalculation. With recalculation, obviously, it's a different story. But I mean, when you've got 13 villagers at 13 minutes, you're not in a good spot.
No,
I don't care how many. Yeah.
8 skirmishers coming out, but every single Reuter is going to die here. To the Russian military.
Is gonna die here.
Yeah, and he's calling GG.
Yeah, GG.
So Kaiserklein taking a big win on a no TP map with Russia and knocking out Dutch, which is a pretty strong civ.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely risky to go for Dutch here, like we were saying, and I guess I don't know if you I kind of noticed as the game was going on that with how tight it is behind your base, which Dutch really just wants to have some room to kind of hit and run with their skirms and Reuters, and this map actually may be a horrible map for Dutch just because of how tight it is behind your base like that.
Yeah, for sure. You're really sandwiched into this kind of, like you said, pocket corner. Can't really go too much with anything.
Yeah, so, maybe a full wall would have been appropriate there. I don't know. That seemed tough.
Yeah, definitely. Kudos to Kaiser for how he played that, and he is taking a 2-0 game advantage in this best of 9. First to win 5.
Yeah. And that was a huge series for Kaiser. And that's like, you know, that's winning 2 games in a row. Your opponent's probably a little bit tilted after having a whole blob of Russian infantry run through his base, and also, in my opinion, the weakest of Kaiser's 5 main civs pulling out a victory here against, like you said, Dutch is very strong.
Yeah, and now
all good signs for Kaiser.
Yeah, and now I believe it's Kaiser's turn to counter civ here.
No, we don't alternate, so it's not like a normal one. It's always winner. So until Kaiser loses, we're gonna keep playing the way we were before. So here's the full map pool. Kaiser vetoes 2.
Yep, so we are going through these vetoes each round, and the map pool gradually gets smaller. And Kaiserklein is vetoing Alaska and Cascade Range, which, like we said, both are no TP maps. And Alaska even has quite a bit of water play that can become incorporated.
See what's going to happen. Same veto, Alaska Cascade.
Yeah. And
The other little trick that Knuschelbär did versus Mito, I wonder if that's going to come out again in some setting, because as we were talking about, Kaiser also plays those two native civs that really can have a tough time busting port turtles. So
yeah, that Portuguese turtle is really fun to watch. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to see it live, but I watched the VOD, and you know, I think we have this like preconception that turtles should not be very effective, but he really made it count in a pretty high level game. It's really impressive to watch.
yeah, definitely. I mean, he was like I was very concerned. They basically what happened. The TCs were, all very close, tightly packed together, and we even saw a fort wagon come out, which I think was the last time we saw a fort wagon.
And it worked. I mean,
and the fort wagon was insane. I mean, might have just sat underneath it, and those cannonballs, they killed, they killed like 20 stern.
It was really effective. And you almost wonder. We saw some rams later from Mito to take down that TC, but you almost wonder if he should have been making rams earlier, if it would have changed the game. And then when you ask yourself, Eero making rams is like potentially game winning. That's a really strange game. So the map is Colorado. There are 4 trading routes, or 4 trading posts, all on the same trade route. And so I think we'll see, it's a pretty standard map. It has some high level treasures on it. So I think we'll see just kind of standard high ranking meta civs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Knowing Kaiser, that I think it's going to be natives. He's already used Germany, which he opened with that, which makes sense. In the first game, you want to go with the strong civ, because you both have to agree.
And there it is, Sue.
Wonder what Knuschelbär will do here.
I don't know. I almost only feel comfortable playing Sue in like a mirror, just because they're such a kind of seems like a swingy civ. I mean, they're so mobile. They can make a lot happen on the map in not a lot of time. And I only feel comfortable matching the mobility. That's just me.
It's a tricky civ to play. You gotta, you always feels like you're behind until you fight, and then usually if you're gonna win the game, those fights tend to be very, very in your favor.
Yeah. So he's taking his time deciding what to pick. It's a big match. This is kind of a turning point. I mean, if he goes down 3-0, that's quite a deficit.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to come back from, and like you said, I think that had to be a really tough loss to face on parallel rivers last game. I mean, he even got 12 goats, and he probably felt really good going into H2, and just didn't work out for him.
Yeah. I don't know, what civilizations do you think do pretty well versus Sioux with the current patch out?
I'm thinking, I mean, who knows? Maybe that poor turtle would do well. I think Brits do well. Brits do well against everything, which is kind of the magic of Brits.
Yeah,
you play a lot of Brits.
I know. I was thinking Brits would do well here too, and I know Knuschelbär likes to play Brit, and to be honest, I'm not sure what Sioux can do if Brit just kind of play in base and just kind of do this slow mana roll where they just max out manners and also just make military, and there's almost never a window to push them because they just have so much stuff. But,
yeah, I mean, Brits are just kind of a filthy civ in a lot of ways. I don't think India is very good against them, or Japan, quite frankly, because actuators just have so much siege, so you basically just clear out the map while waiting to kill them later.
Yeah. Portuguese. All right, well, we'll have to see how he plays this. Take a look at his deck, see if he does have any similar turtle aspirations. Kaiserklein has, of course, seen that match that he played versus Mito, so he has some inclination of what to expect, potentially.
Yeah, I'm sure he's sitting over there thinking he definitely watched that game. Everyone did, so he's probably like, oh shit. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, game number 3. Here we go.
Yep, loading up. So here we are. The map is ESOC, Colorado. It looks like spawning in the east of the map. Once we all get going, here we go. Knuschelbär playing Portuguese in the color green, and Kaiserklein in the color blue playing Sioux. And right away off the bat, we see it's going to be a food start. And if we look at treasures in base, Kaiser's going to pick up a nice 40 wood he can use to build an early teepee.
Oh, this is my favorite combination of treasures: the 40 wood, 50 food. So you can kind of just get a little bit of the two best resources.
Yeah.
Wood being the best and food being the second best in H1.
Yep, and I like the move to kind of tank with this grizzly bear, and he's even going to kite with it a little bit. Pretty nice.
Knuschelbär picking up 120 XP, which may help him later, but as we all know, Portuguese don't really call shipments in H1. I mean, you can send ATP, which might not be a bad idea here because you'll get it super fast. Because you also know Sue at the same time wants to build TPs too.
Yeah, that could be.
Already guys up. Dang, so there's no real chance to deny.
Yeah, and Kaiserklein choosing to chop for the trading post instead of build a market or TP, and the Portuguese player is putting down a market, and so he chopped for that. And he needs to lay his house. He's a little house, but I don't think he won't let it happen. And so yeah, Sue is getting this early TP. I think that's going to be a nice advantage for him. And if we look at the treasures on the map, 110 wood here. It seems to be...
A shipment is on the way. Sorry to change the subject here for Knuschelbär. So we'll see. Do you think he's going to send ATP, or do you think he's just going to, lay his cards right on the table for us to see and call CM straight away?
I don't know. I wonder. I think also like an early eco theory would be something you'd like to see in this build, in this FI build.
You think? Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It just
seems bad to send like a one bill ship.
Yeah, you're right. And we do see ATP, and yeah, I like that card better. I think eco theory, like you said, has been losing favor. Just because, yeah, it's effectively a one villager shipment when you send it, and it takes a long time to pay off to even reach 3 villagers, and then you have to wait even longer for that to really pay off. So
yeah,
whereas
look at Knuschelbär's Explorer HP is at 200, and there's a giant army of things that move very fast running across the map. So I'm kind of scared that he may get to build exactly 0 TPs this game.
Yep, and it's scouted with the Grizzly, but I mean the very important pickup is this
Kaiser's just swarming on this. He knows exactly how important that Explorer is.
And there's no hope for this Explorer to survive with this Nuka Clubman on the floor.
Yeah,
just none at all.
This is just buying time, and nice by Knuschelbär clearing out the little pets here, so that way, at the very least, he's going to make it harder for Kaiser to get this free 110 wood he's going to pick up after.
Yeah.
And do you think he sends bills to build TPs? Do you think he just says, I guess ATP is a card I sent that I never use,
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you can build, the TP that's closest, but otherwise I think you risk just losing a free villager to this Nuka Clubman if Kaiser plays this card.
Losing a village. I mean, he's even going to risk losing a villager if he tries to build this. These TPs take
That's
forever.
true. You would have to employ some pretty nasty bill pull just to get it out of there in time. I mean, this Clubman snares does 10 attack and as well super fast. So
yeah, and you would have to. I think the only way that you would build it is if Kaiser just doesn't come and check it. Like it's just entirely up to Kaiser if you get that TP or not, which makes me not want to build it.
Yeah, and he's picked up 110 wood. I mean, you can do so much with that wood now. So you can build a second trading post if you want. Slam down just like a ton of these, which are now economically boosting TPs. And oh my gosh, 150 coin. I mean, this is the power of Sue H1. He finds this Nuka Clubman, he eliminates the Portuguese Explorer, and now he can just take free reign of treasures around the map.
Yeah, and Kaiser's really trying to micro hard on this one to kind of maximize his Explorer HP, which he has to do because it's quite low now. But
yeah, because as
what
fast.
does Kaiser do with all this, all the resources he's got? What do you think he's gonna do?
I don't know. I think he can do pretty much anything. If we look at text completed, he has no market upgrades in, but I suspect they'll be coming in soon. And goodness gracious, 90 food. He's just taking full reign.
He can't even hold on to the club with both hands. He's running so fast.
That's insane. That's insane. And I think he's waiting until he clicks up to start this just so he'll have the extra HP. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, he's about to pop up, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm waiting for. Yeah.
And we do see the town center placement for Knuschelbär. Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, it's in the same line of sight as the original TC. It's kind of securing this gold mine, but not quite. It's still a little out there.
It also creates a little pocket in the middle here where he could potentially herd those other deer and just
Yeah.
have a little pocket.
Yeah, that is
I wonder
nice.
if Kaiser's going to come with the Nutka straight over the TP or what he's going to do. He will catch this Vil, but I don't think he can kill it before the TC completes, and that may buy enough time for the ATP TP to go up.
Yeah, and he had this Cougar kind of out and about scouting, but didn't really catch the Explorer laying down this foundation. And 700 coin coming down in a barracks for Knuschelbär. So I think we're going to see something like a Musketeer semi-FF or so. The Portuguese player does have the same deck, I believe, as he used versus Maida with the 5 El Medi and the Fort.
Yeah.
So we could
Looks like the
see.
same one.
Yeah. And 700 wood coming down for Sioux instead of 5 villagers. I wonder if we're going to see... He can't really do a stagecoach, though. I mean, now that Portuguese has 2 trading posts, so...
I mean, I don't know. I think 700 wood's probably fine. He can build a bunch of TPs with it. And like I was saying, those early villager shipments, they really don't net you that much, and you lose a lot of flexibility risk. Yeah, so he's able to go up here and drop a war hut with 1 Vil.
Yeah.
Musketeers are in queue, and they will definitely walk this way because there is a TP right there. Kaiser does have 5 Axe Riders, though, and as we all know, 5 cav generally beats 5 muskets. So.
Yeah. And he's laying down a second trading post, and actually is able to get 5 villagers really speedy after that 700 wood. I think he got a lot of experience with the treasures in Age 1. And 4 Axe Riders are coming out that he built. And
yeah, seems like a good idea. It's going to allow him to definitely get the war hut up. He knows there's muskets out now. Maybe he'll just snag this Explorer real quick and then get out.
I think he will. Musketeers are coming in. And I think what's... So 600 coin coming down now for Portuguese. He does have Colonial Militia in deck. I wonder if or when we'll ever see that shipment. That's kind of a tricky shipment if you're going to send it, knowing when to send it, because if you don't get value out of it, it's just kind of like a wasted card.
Yeah, I think he's going to take the strategy of I'm never leaving my town centers, like just ever.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people try those types of builds versus Sioux, and I think a lot of Sioux players don't know how to handle it, but Kaiser is one who's played a lot of Sioux, and I wonder like what his tactic will be to break a CM turtle when it inevitably happens here.
Yeah, I'm curious to know as well.
He's got a war hut up. Like not denying this war hut it shaves 30 seconds off of all of Kaiserklein's pressure.
Yeah, I really like this war hut, like you said. The 700 wood first is pretty nice, and although we do see a Portuguese is clicking up before the Sioux player.
Well, there's CM in too, though. So
yeah,
I wonder if these well, it doesn't really matter. Like I was saying, a lot of times you're worried that you got this cav out here. Yeah, he did alt it. I don't think it was intentional though.
Yeah, I have stances hotkeyed on my stuff, and so if he had that grouped with the Musketeers, of course on purpose. Yeah, if you have this Explorer grouped with the Musketeers and you just change stance from melee to volley with the Musketeers with a hotkey, like that'll do it. So
yeah,
it's
actually you can close chat too with this with the end buttons. Yeah, so the TC wagon is out, and where is it going to go? Well, like I was saying, most players are going to try to get that out on the map, but as we saw from Knuschelbär, I don't know that he necessarily has that ambition.
Yeah,
has he seen the war hut yet?
I don't think so.
Will he push this TC straight ahead? Oh wow, that is a lot more spread out than it was in the Mido games.
Yeah, he might,
and it's gonna get free siege.
Oh, but Kaiser, I don't know if he maybe didn't see it. I mean, there are 9 Axe Riders. He definitely has to push this. I mean, these 5 Musketeers are not going to deny it. No, he's not going. He's waiting for the Joaquinas. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna get. He could potentially kill this.
This is huge.
Not confident in fire pit, but I don't think he even needs it with the force.
Right. I mean, like you said, Axe Riders a pretty high siege, and these Joaquinas are going to force away all these Musketeers. Minutemen, there's no hope of saving this guy, and this is a huge pickup. It's going to hurt Portuguese boom options and also defensive capabilities.
Is he going to find a He's got to go in. He's going to go in. Kaiser's feeling confident, it seems right now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Oh my goodness.
I mean-
he doesn't have the resources for CM, or does he? He does. He'll call CM. There's first round minutes. Where's the CM ones?
He'll have to trade food for the big batch.
Yeah, I think
He's doing it. He's doing it though. Yeah.
This is
But
actually the worst it could possibly
oh,
be
it's
because he's
still
gonna run
going
away
down.
after this. He's gonna run away.
Oh
Did CM come out?
no, he never spent the resources.
Okay.
But
That would have been devastating if the CM also came out.
yeah, that's huge though. I mean, like this is effectively halves like his strategy. I mean, there's just no defense anymore, at least much
Yeah.
less. And I mean, Kaiser is still just making Joaquinez. He's gonna poke this gold mine, poke these resources. He's gonna siege this trading post because Stagecoach is in play,
Yeah.
and take it
Looking
for
on top of
himself.
everything he is too. I mean, like that native scout he walked before Joaquina up to make sure he could finish up the native scout, and now he's just taking free volleys, and he killed 4 Minutemen on that volley.
Yeah, and these Joaquinez are gonna push back the Castadors, and it looks like Knuschelbär wants to age. 1,000 coin is in play now, and he will have the food soon. But I mean, Kaiserklein is gonna be pretty well set up. There's one less town center, so there's less booming potential for the Portuguese player. Kaiserklein is gonna get this Stagecoach trading post, and for the moment, Sue will be ahead in resources.
Yeah, and honestly, like he's gonna get up, but what's the point of what is he getting up to get?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, Kaiser's got Stagecoach in with 3 TPs now. He can just kind of sit here and mass and wait until because when you get industrial, all that comes out is 1,000 coin in TC wagon. He can come in, kill a TC wagon, and then Almeida aren't exactly going to change the game here.
No, the scariest thing are the 2 heavy cannons, just because Sue doesn't have anti-artillery units. But I mean, if he just keeps massing with his economy he's got going,
right?
yeah.
So you gotta be patient, just wait. Knuschelbär also hasn't. Worth noting, he has queued up his first military unit of the entire game at 12 minutes, and I think Kaiser's just really taking advantage of the strategy, not making military units coming in at all the right moments. These cat coming in again, and this could be another 5 units dead, or maybe he'll just center this town center.
Yeah, I mean, there's all these units are only taking fire from one town center, and that's in the Mido game. I mean, there would be like 3 or 4 town centers firing on these
There were 3
units.
town centers. There were 30 villas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just not as effective. And I wonder.
Check out the cards too. Shipment sent on Kaiser's cav. Just like
Yeah.
he's got cheap cav and cav combat, and those cav are ridiculous. And these 4 goons poking on the edge nicely, picking up a couple cav here.
They are.
Martinez
This.
should be running them out soon though.
You know, you have to wonder. I mean, is Knuschelbär going to spend the resources to try to save this town center? He doesn't have the food for the big Minutemen button. And so I think it's just going to go down, and he's going to have to place this town center extremely defensively.
He's revived his explorer, which is really nice. Cavalry hit points coming in. I think you're right. I think this town center goes down. There's not a lot of Aquino left, but yeah, it goes down, and it's another town center. Look at where the other town center went too. I mean, there's just that's got to die, right?
Yeah, I think so. If it's scouted, I mean, there's only 4 Dragoons up on the field. Definitely enough Joaquinez to take care of it. And yeah, I think these Axe Riders just siege the town center.
I didn't even
And
let those guys get fucked down.
Yep,
Town center.
that's what they're doing.
Yeah, he's just focused firing it down, and at this point, he could probably just walk away and just say, like, checkmate here. I'll come back later and check on you after you've sent your factory wagon or whatever.
Yeah, and this is just a beautiful case of timings for Kaiser. I mean, Portuguese is now down to 1 town center, and they're in industrial age. This is just he's completely thwarted what gave
this is his most likely gold mine.
Yeah.
Which is also just against Sue a horrible idea. So.
I know, and Kaiser is adding a town center of his own. So pretty soon, Sue will have more town centers and ports, and we're 14 minutes into the game. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, and Kaiser's up by 10 bills. He's also up by 2 Stagecoach TPs to 1, a net advantage of 2 rather. So Ezekiel's way ahead, but I mean, the saving grace as always is industrial age Portuguese is pretty good. Although usually you have a couple more TCs and resources in their base.
And Knuschelbär is just sending his first shipment. He could have sent that a little while ago, but I think he was busy, preoccupied with everything going on.
Ooh, the Italians are here though.
Oh, the El Medi. Oh, he'd already sent a shipment. Yeah. And
but what are those going to really do for you? Right?
I don't. If he gets enough goons, I mean, the only anti-cav for Kaiser's. Oh no, he's adding bow riders right now. I think he sort of anticipates this.
Yeah, I mean, Kaiser's just been really, really adapted well just from watching the one game that Mito had. I mean, he's even, like you said, mixing bow riders early.
Yeah. And I like this. Kaiser actually moved his army off of the trade route as he saw the Travois coming around, so as not to give Knuschelbär line of sight for his army composition, that he is sort of adding these bow riders now. And
Yeah.
One
I like
thing,
that he's not showing the Elmedi. That's a wise move. Once if the Elmedi was shown, then there's 100% chance of bow riders. Now at least Kaiser has to do some,
That's
some
true.
inference.
That's true. And
The
Axe Rider upgrade card.
Oh, that was the Axe Rider upgrade card too. Jeez.
Yeah. So I mean, now all Axe Riders have 20% more hit points in addition to Cav Combat and Cavalry hit points. Like these guys have.
And Mustangs to be cheaper.
Yeah, I mean these guys have 437 hit points.
At what point would you rather have an elite Axe Rider than an Elmedi? I mean, it's getting close.
I know, I know. And there is a fire pit on the floor. Only about 7 villagers close to it, but he will have the opportunity.
I think that's gonna be for siege dance, don't you?
Yeah.
He's reviving his explorer too, which is really smart. Even though he could pick up his explorer, probably having it at full HP is really good against goons. It just kind of soaks forever.
Yeah, although he has we changed that. He's got the heavy cavalry tag, so he actually
that was ridiculous.
Yeah, he actually dies to goons now. So.
Okay, well that's much more balanced.
Oh, he pulled his explorer off before it got built.
Yeah, he's really got to degroup that.
Yeah. He doesn't
factors on food just because the nearest hunt is even further than the nearest gold all the way out here.
Yeah, and
I like this gate though.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, he needs to use it.
He's going to use it for sure. With all, like imagine you're just like look at all this units coming in.
Yeah, he still loses 4, and so the recalculated economic populations are pretty even, especially if this trading post was built. But
well, they're exactly even, but only because of the
factories. I know.
Which I mean, like factories are already in, so.
But they haven't been working for very long, so I mean, Sue's got this huge military advantage, and I think he's just going to kind of slam everything in here. Nice positioning. Yeah. The bow riders are on the Elmedi in the trees, so the pathing is going to be a little messed up, and the Joaquina are right on top of the goons, and they're going to pick those off. And there's just too much stuff here from Sue.
Yeah. Look at that explorer actually die though. That's very relieving to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Italian's not doing as much as they did against Mike, so.
And GG called by Knuschelbär. So Kaiser taking a decisive 3-0 victory. Or not victory, but lead in the series. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and if you look at the map pool too, with the veto situation, Kaiser can continually veto all the non-TP maps. So if he doesn't lose a game, he's going to get to veto his way to TP maps all the way through the rest.
Yeah, very nice start to the series by him. And I mean, yeah, with the town centers killed, I mean, Sue could just outgather Portuguese, and when that happens, you're in for a bad time as ports because these Sue units are just so strong. I mean, we saw the Axe Riders with those 3 cards on them are just super beefy.
Yeah.
So here we go. We'll start vetoes for the 4th map.
We should probably mention donations.
Oh yeah, donations, guys. I've been hearing the alert go off as I've been streaming, and unfortunately haven't been able to alt-tab into OBS to check that. But all donations, guys, cheers, subscriptions, PayPal donations to ESOC community, they're all helpful. Of course, all the tournaments we run are completely funded by you guys off of donations and YouTube views, and we want to keep bringing you guys the content that you like, that we enjoy making, that the players enjoy playing in, and best way to do that is by getting your donation out there. We really appreciate it.
Oh, look at that. Florida is the map.
Awesome. Actually, this is probably my favorite ESOC map.
I wonder why, Mr. Britt.
It has so many hunts. So many hunts.
So good for Britt.
I've even done like VC plus 2 dock builds on this map. Just like getting so much economy out there. It is so fun. There's sheep. You start with the market. Everything you could ask for is on this map.
Yeah, I mean, you get the free market, which Brit never get. Like Brit is always you have to choose house or market, and it's
Yeah.
kind of questionable. And then, like you said, the free livestock, the treasures are pretty solid. There's water. There's also TP. You can't stagecoach the line and do it with map control. Like
Right.
even if Brit chooses to build no TPs, you still can't stagecoach.
Yeah.
So
It's great.
everything
And,
about the map just like screams Brit.
oh yeah, and Knuschelbär knows that, and he like insta locked it when he saw Kaiserklein was choosing France. So this
Yeah.
is another classic matchup. Really dates back to OG Age of Empires 3, but there have been some changes to both civs and the most recent ESOC patch. Brit have manors cost 140 wood now instead of 135, and France suffers from that native scout not being snared. Coeur de Bois now costs 125 food instead of 120, and both civs goons have 10% less range resistance. So largely play the same, but just a couple of nuanced differences. And we are hopping in. So Kaiserklein is leading the series 3-0. He's playing France in the color blue in the northeast of the map, and in the southwest is Knuschelbär playing Brit in the color green. And we did have a coin start, so expect both players to be getting text out of these markets, trading coin for wood to build their house, and searching for these sheep, searching for treasures. And immediately Kaiserklein stumbles upon a native scout. We'll see if he chooses to capture that or if he looks for more resource treasures.
Yeah, I feel like the native scout isn't worth picking up as a treasure anymore after the snare is removed, because like native scouts just is not. One native scout's nice because people are keeping it alive more to stealth it, but two native scouts isn't much different than one when you have stealth natives.
Yeah,
So
totally.
you don't see a lot of people going for it. And we do see Brit walking up on 105 coin, which will support your strategy of buying wood. And then the other treasure that's really worth noting is kind of hidden away. I don't know when we'll find it, but there's an 80 wood back here, which is quite easy to get.
Yeah, that is pretty hidden back there. Real quick, we had a $3 donation from Fighting Frenchman with his catchphrase #ModTheEar. Thanks for those $3.
Absolutely.
And let's look at text being researched. So Knuschelbär is getting his honey dogs in, and text completed. Kaiserklein has already researched his. So like we said, both players utilizing that early market, getting their sheep, and yeah, we'll have to see if Kaiserklein stumbles upon this 80 wood treasure, because that's really nice. And it's also very easy to get. You crack shot the pirate and melee the outlaw blowgunner.
Blowgunner,
And, yeah, sometimes I have difficulty speaking. And nice. Okay, so an Age 1 trading post
perfect
from
for
Brit.
casting.
Right? I was ordering like a beer like at a bar the other day, and for some reason like the 3 words that came out of my mouth were just unintelligible, and the guy's like, "What do you want?" And I don't know, I felt like a toddler couldn't speak English, but
You'll figure it out
nonetheless.
someday.
Yeah, I know. I got a lot of time.
And we missed the
75
wood, but that's pretty big. And then there's also this 100 food that we talked about up here that probably is where Knuschelbär will go next.
Yeah.
Do you think that with the TP, this is telling us there's going to be a Virginia company in our future? I know he likes to send that card. So.
Maybe. I mean, the tough thing about that is that he missed a couple passes because the trading post was a little late. So he does send 3 villagers first, so there's potential for BC. I think we could see it. I think you'll get passes in time to send it in transition. And Kaiserklein is kind of losing the treasure war in Age 1, I think.
Yeah, there is. I mean, both. It's funny that he says there's hidden OP treasures, which there were, but he also has a hidden OP treasure.
Yeah, he just didn't see it.
Although, as France, you don't want there to be hidden OP treasures for everyone. You want them to be all contestable, and then you just want to use your native scouts. Run the map.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Kaiser's going to get here. He almost wishes he was a little bit later, but he does see it. Perfect. So he won't have to start that treasure.
Oh, and he's going to get the snare in on this Explorer, so that's really nice. He's going to use.
He's going to watch this carefully. Yeah, using the native scout just to jam this Explorer up a little bit, and this is a really important pickup here because it means 100 food uncontested if he's able to do even enough damage here.
Yeah, and it's very important that he micros this native scout, because since the snare was removed, if you let the native scout get between the 2 explorers, the snare will get broken, and the British player will be able to escape with his explorer. And oh, it's gonna die. It's gonna fall for sure. But he is getting lots of damage in with the villagers to this French explorer, but it's not gonna be enough. He's still gonna be able to pick up this 100 food, like you said, virtually uncontested. Well, for sure, uncontested.
Well, it depends what if the okay. This Villa, I was gonna say the Villa kind of was giving off these signals that he might want to walk to 100 food, but Kaiser's supposed to build his TP. We can't forget that.
Yeah, and that's what he's going to do.
And
So he's
VC.
gonna. Yeah, and VC's in, and another donation, $6 from I Will Spank You. This is the double donation you missed out, boys. So I think she donated earlier, and I might have missed to call it out. But thanks for the $6. I Will Spank You. Very appreciative, of course. Very big donor she is, and she helps bring, as all of you do, the content that we enjoy consuming and making. And so VC is out, like you said. That's huge. And,
Yeah, interesting tower position. I wonder. It does give him protection against against a lot of pressure, but he's kind of created this like line across the coast that would be just so nice to have a tower protecting. Right, he's got like 6 hunts over here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, he actually doesn't have as many hunts kind of under his town center as he'd maybe like to have around this time. And he's trying to herd these farther out ones with these VC villagers. And actually an in-base Rax from Kaiserklein. This is maybe not the response, the proper response.
I think I know what's coming.
What's that?
Would you know? I think it's going to be the 20 Musketeer 2 Falconet. Kaiser loves doing that little Musketeer vet musk push.
That'll be interesting for sure. That could catch the Brit player if he's aging or something. Otherwise, I don't. I mean, a free VC boom is so powerful, and
yeah.
But I mean, kind of an early Rax coming down for Knuschelbär too. He hasn't maxed out on manners yet, and 5 Musketeers out. Yeah. So, yeah, 700 would come down for the Brit player. That's a very typical first card, especially when you send Virginia Company. You can just spam manners and spam lots of free villagers. And one thing to note is, like, with the manor change, like, VC manners are now 91 wood instead of 87, which is kind of... it's not a big change at all, but if you play Brit, it's just, like, a little dejecting.
It does give your VC more value though, because it is percentage based.
That's true. That's true.
Even better, actually.
Yeah, and earlier it was like 87.8 or something. It just the 0.8 didn't show up in the UI. So I like this tower placement on the gold mine. I think I've seen them do VC with the tower also on the gold mine. I think it was also this map. Actually, Mido is French, and this same matchup played on this same map was in their series, I think.
I don't know, actually.
Was it on Florida? I don't know. But anyways, I like the tower right on the gold mine.
The Mido game was definitely on Florida, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So this same matchup was played in Knuschelbär's previous series, where he was Brit and he sent VC.
And this is not what you want your Musketeer doing necessarily, but
yeah.
I guess it's all right. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know this matchup. It always feels like if you walk into a Brit space and you're not killing a ton of villagers, that you're probably losing out.
Yeah, no, Knuschelbär is fine with this trade. I mean, he's almost max manners, and he lost like a few longbow for a few musketeers. The tower plus the TC. I did lose a bill, but that's not...
It's 1 bill, yeah, exactly.
I mean, 700 coin coming down for Kaiserklein. He hasn't gathered the remaining 300 yet, so he's not going to be able to click up right away.
Maybe having the 5 bill come out will, because this seems like something that I would do. I always send the 5 bill, and I think when I play Brit, I always wonder why I don't send 700 gold more often.
Yeah.
It feels like the perfect time for 700 gold, and then, like, you already have double their eco. Did you really need 5 more bills, right?
Yeah, that's what I kind of like to do with VC builds, where I want to get to H3, is I send the gold after the wood, and if I still want to send 5 bill, I kind of elect to send it after. So you can chop the wood and transition to get all your infrastructure up.
Yeah.
But I mean,
he did send it, whereas I would have sent something down like 600 wood there probably, and then never gotten up in time.
Yeah, I used to send 600 wood in my VC builds, and Kaiserklein would just trash me. Like every time he casted my kings, he'd just be like, "This is such a bad card," and so I stopped. And I think he's right. I think it really helped.
Winning.
Yeah.
The K train started rolling.
Oh yeah, I got on the tracks. So yeah, both players are clicking up. Of course, the French player has access to the fast age option, so he's going to be up much sooner than the British player, although they did click up at roughly the same time.
Can we just note the 5 muskets popping out right now, and also watch this pop as it goes up by exactly 10? And then let's wait even a little bit longer after these next 5 muskets come out and notice that the vet musket are on the way.
Yep. Yeah, I'm clicking on a musketeer. Expect to see it pretty soon.
Yeah, he's got to get out this patch. Oh, he's going cure right now.
I've also heard that he likes this. He likes to do it's musketeer cuirassier. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Because cuirassiers are beefy units. And he's kind of got a cheeky native scout nestled in here right by the tower. I'm surprised that's not being scouted by the tower. That's close.
Do towers have detection?
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Okay.
No, they don't have it. Yeah, towers do not have detection. 2 falconets are out, and I'm guessing, yep, there it is, the vet musker on the way. And just like you said, this is clearly a build Kaiser has really refined. You can tell because he knew to queue up the cuirassier before he attacked the vet. Because he, with the long train time on the cuirassiers, he knew that with all the walking and everything considered, his vet will still get in, but his cures will come out that much sooner. And I would be surprised if he gets out 4 cures or even 5 with his timing here.
That'd be really impressive. 5 cures would add a lot to this composition. And Knuschelbär is about to hit up. He will have a shipment to send. We might just see 2 Falcons of his own. And it's really kind of up to Kaiser to see what kind of damage he can do. There's not a lot of exposed resources that he can really deny.
He's already got 2 builds here. And the thing about this build is you have a lot of siege. So your opponent's on a very, very short clock. The 7 longbow popping out the back will be helpful. And Knuschelbär does have a shipment, which I would assume is the Falkseer. I don't know. It just seems like
I would assume so too.
Falk
and Kaiser is, this is kind of a dicey position to be in because Minutemen can still be called from here, and there's not a whole lot of musketeers on the floor. Some cuirassiers come out. He's got to kind of
are thinning too, and Minutemen pop out.
Minutemen come out. Trying to go into melee versus these Falcons to negate the range resistance, and they are going to get some damage done, but both Falcons will still be alive. He's trying to bring in the Hussars.
But wait a second, the Falcons are going to come out any second now for Knuschelbär.
Both Falcons are still alive for the French player. One goes down though.
2.
And here come 2 Falcons. And perfect time. There's no Falcons here for the French player. And suddenly, all of a sudden, Brit has just completely stabilized. And really nice bill pop. That did a lot of path blocking. And
he gets 1 Falk though with the muskets, and now we can just switch to a standard composition. If these 3 cures also can snare the other Falk here real quick.
I don't know. I think he has to go back. These longbows still do too much damage versus cavalry, but right now
look at the recalculate. It's not horrible. He's down by 8, which against Brit is not horrible.
It's not horrible, and I almost wonder. Maybe this is just me thinking aloud because I really like that EP made fishing boats 70 wood, but what if you just send 1,000 wood now as France and just built the dock and tried to supplement your economy while you kind of wait for Brits to run out of resources?
I actually like that a lot. Maybe the 70 wood allows fishing to be accessible to everyone, and it would give France if France just builds 5 or 6 boats, then the economic disadvantage that he's at due to Virginia company would be completely mitigated. These cap though, and this raffle mining happening in the back of the base, those are a bad combination.
Raffle mining.
At least there's great code. At least there's great code.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what the response is. His army is kind of out of position, and
yeah, I'd like to believe he's gonna see it. Yeah, he does. They're not even vet yet, which is I don't know the math on that, but that has to be helpful.
Yeah, and he's trying to do some blocking.
He's going to lose maybe 3 or 4 builds here, but the cures are coming, and as we know, cures walk slow as hell. So.
Yeah. Two CDBs, only 2, and he might help 3. Yeah, he's going to get away with just losing
4.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Still 3. He's not tasked correctly here, and he's going to... it's 4th one.
Oh, man.
It's okay.
Units lost. Yep, 4 CDBs. It's okay, but not what you won against BC. Brits are just going to kind of outscale here. Though, one thing is, though, he's making a lot of longbows and not a lot of anti-cav. If enough cuirassiers just kind of hop onto these longbows, that could be deadly.
Yeah, this is like, the whole point of the musket push was probably not even to end the game. It was just to, cause a little bit of idle time, kill a couple vills. I mean, Kaiser had killed, I don't know, lost
Yeah, for
probably
sure.
5 vills? 3, yeah, he killed 3 vills, and he idled his opponent a little bit, which
Yeah.
left him only down 8. But now that he's lost those 5 CDB right back, it's created a very typical gap that Brit has, which is like a 12 vil lead, which is huge.
Yeah, real quick, we had a big donation, $50 from I Will Spank You. She says she's in a good mood and Kaiser is doing well, so it looks like she's a favorite in this series. And
Looks like Kaiser's a huge. Looks like Kaiser's a huge special fan.
I know. And but that being said, I don't know if it looks good for Kaiser in this particular game. Knuschelbär in both a military and economic lead. Wasn't able to get this villager though. I wonder if he's gonna send a villager.
Does he really need another villager?
No, it's just greed at this point.
Is he
really
quick pick on this Falcon?
Look at this. That's great. He
take a quick volley and head back and then take another volley.
Yeah.
There you go. That's it. Falc's down for 2 goons.
That's
3
nice.
goons.
3. I mean, these longbows are. There's not even Yemen in yet, and these guys still have sick, nasty range. But yeah, I mean, that's a very nice play from Kaiser. Positioned his native scout just perfectly. He saw that the Falcon was in front, picked it off with his goons.
He's going to really need to have a miracle here to win the one. If he's able to just pull out a miracle in one fight, he'll be fine.
It's just not enough, though. I mean, like that Falconet didn't really represent very much. And I don't know, like, what's your next card as Kaiserklein? Like, do you ship, like, 3 cures and try to go? Do you try to get Cav Combat in? I mean, I really feel like...
You're just stalling for time here. And I think you want to get, like this. You need to be playing non-direct... a non-direct game with the Brit player, and hopefully they just can't.
I see
it. If you play direct, you're done.
This is a nice raid. What I'd like to see is like simultaneous pushing out these resources too. Because if he would have done that, I mean, he would have escaped with these dragoons and picked up another like 4 or 5 villagers if he had his army on this hunt. I mean, he doesn't know that he's hunting on this, but I think that sort of omnidirectional army usage when you're trying to play, like you said, that sort of poke and directional game is really good.
Yeah, he can just, the native scout is like, he's reporting back like, guys, we're fucked.
Yeah, he's like don't engage, like, just
exactly.
Build some boats and leave the new world.
But look at the military population. Like as both players move up in military population, it's smoothing out a little bit. I mean, sure, never mind. Take that right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
There's still Cav Combat underneath it. Which
and I mean, Brit,
terrifying, quite frankly.
When you get away with VC, you just outscale if there's nothing else coming from the French player. And yeah, I mean, Cav Combat coming in for both players, but there's just way more stuff on the field for Knuschelbär. And I don't know. Let's look at units in queue. What's the French player? He's got 6 Cuirassiers in queue. So I mean, I think we're just gonna see a big Cure Tech and hope for a miracle fight, which might happen. But even if he cleans up, I mean, what's the remass ability from the British player? He's got so many resources. And gosh, you can't even poke. I mean, these longbows just win the skirm war. It's insane how once this British army gets going, how effective they are.
Yeah, I mean, it just comes back to that same thing. It's got to be a really well-positioned fight coming at Kaiser. He has caught up in the upgrade card thing, and he's doing the right thing in my opinion, which is just avoiding combat at all costs here. I mean, he's down by 30 military pop, but that's something that you can close if you can get a couple picks here and there. And just continually chip away.
Are we seeing a CDB push here as well? Just try to tank?
I don't know. I hope not. I feel like he should just be going up here to gather and just waiting.
I don't think that Bill's tanking. I mean, at this late in the game when there's so many units on the field is all that effective. But I mean, he's going in here.
This is it.
That's what's going on. And okay, there aren't too many trees here. The cures should path relatively okay.
And blocked to hell right now too.
Yeah, I mean, Yemen comes in for the longbowman just in time for the fight. There's just not enough cures here. I mean, these vet husks are very effective. I think Knuschelbär is going to clean this up pretty well.
Yeah, the Cav really didn't get too well engaged, and I mean he's doing a nice job picking up the goons though, which is really what he needed to do.
Yeah.
There's still the CDB in there too. Did not get in the way of the longbow or the goons to soak it all, so they've just been kind of standing around more or less.
Yep, and as we three cures and 3 more with the shipment.
This could be enough if he gets those 3 goons. Those 3 goons are a big deal in this fight.
I
Kaiser's
would.
it too.
Oh, he's tasking.
He-
Oh no.
Look at the skirmish walking forward. The cheer's moving forward. Everything's getting where it needs to be. But where's the reinforcing units from Knuschelbär? Are they coming?
He's only got one Hussar and Q right now. 5 more are coming. 10 more Hussar coming for Knuschelbär. So
Holy cow! All the Longbow are dying.
yeah, but I mean, 10 Huss also clean this up. I mean, there's 7 skirmisher shipment for Kaiserklein, but I don't know. Oh, but all right, we see Knuschelbär. I mean, he's a team player
IPM
primarily, and yeah,
yeah.
that's just
Kaiser
the
tried.
CDB. He did. It was a pretty. I mean, that engagement went, I think, as well as it could have went. I don't know.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, his H2 is pretty solid. He got those 3 builds he needed and delayed a little bit.
Yeah, but VC is just so strong. I mean, I don't really know the right response to it.
Yeah, I really don't like this matchup. I feel like it's especially on Florida of all maps. Like, you almost just want to give him the win or something and move on.
Yeah. All right, so Knuschelbär taking his first game, leveling out the series a little bit more, 3-1 in favor of Kaiser. I'm going to restart my game real quick. I think I've sound bug.
Alrighty.
Apologies, stream. You're going to see a black screen for just a second, but it'll be back very quickly. All right, I think we'll get vetoes in again and see what the next map will be.
Yeah, we gotta paste the remaining map pool.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing here now is that I guess I'm dumb. I'm so dumb. Kaiser gets to pick the map, so it doesn't really matter if the non-TP is TP or not. We're never gonna see a non-TP map for the rest of the
really?
series. Yeah, because right, even if well, I guess deep in the series, there's only like 4 maps left or something like that. Knuschelbär could ban the other 2 TP maps, but for the next couple of games, we will be on a TP map for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, that's gonna, I think, work in favor of Kaiser. I'm trying to think what Civ you'll pull out next. He's played
Euro, right? That's all that's left.
yeah, I suppose so. Played Germany, France, and Sioux, and Russia.
Yeah, and dragging this series out is favorable. I guess maybe it's not. Knuschelbär doesn't have a deep civ pool either necessarily, but he's already played some of his like fringe civs early on. Like he's not a France player, he's not a port player.
Right.
He still has India left, and I feel like he plays like Aztecs a little bit too sometimes.
Yeah, that could be. I'd like to see Kaiserklein play British more in a tournament setting.
British. If you don't have Brit in your civ pool, it's pretty tough because you kind of just get to lose a free game right now with how good Brit is.
Yeah, you almost like want to mirror Brit. That's kind of how good they can be if they're played correctly.
Yeah, definitely.
So it looks like we're gonna take a real quick break. Knuschelbär is getting a drink. I'm drinking water as well. Very important to stay hydrated, folks.
Hey guys.
Hey Eddie,
Hey,
how's it going?
you're gonna
Yeah,
sub in for
fine.
me here, so I'm gonna jump out.
All right, thanks for casting, Ryan.
Yeah, it's been fun, guys. Good luck with the rest of the series.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, see you guys.
Are you
All
ready
right.
here or?
Yeah. Once you hop in, I think I'll let players know that you'll be jumping in, and let's see. Go ahead and say a
Okay,
sentence.
cool.
I'll do a quick sound check.
Okay, that's fine. I will just talk and meanwhile restart my game and then enter the lobby.
Sounds good. All right. I will gonna listen to this real quick. I'll do a quick sound check.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. Sounds good. So, good news.
Good to go then. Yeah, let's see if I can join up here. I just had to restart my game. Then probably the field to join should be gone.
Hopefully. If not, we can have everyone restart their games, and that should fix it. So.
Okay, there I am.
Nice. Perfect.
So yeah, I'm really happy to see another game here. I was afraid of a 4-0 sweep actually, but looks like we can have some more games to watch.
Yeah, this is at least 2 more, right? Best of 9, so it's the first one to win 5. So.
Hey, it's best of 9, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to like the smaller series, but of course, yeah, it's like a major final. So
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a best of 9 series. It's a real treat for everyone involved, and Knuschelbär is assigned to lock in with Eero on Mendocino.
So let's see what maps have been vetoed then.
Of the remaining Civ pool, Arizona and Iowa and Alaska and Cascade Range were vetoed, and so Kaiserklein gets to pick out of those, and he picks Mendocino. And Knuschelbär is okay. Kaiserklein is selecting Auto actually for going
Okay.
the Eero mirror, which I thought maybe he might click into, but
Or stay on Aero then? Yeah, it looks like he will. All right.
has no choice. And so this is here we are hopping into the 5th game in the series. Awesome.
All right, now it's 3-0 for Kaiserklein. So Knuschelbär still has a chance to come back here, but he needs to make something happen soon. And well, let's see if they can do it here on this ESOC Mendocino.
Yeah, this is a pretty game for Knuschelbär. If he goes down 4-1, that'll be really hard to come back. But 3-2, that's a series right there. So we do have Kaiserklein in the color blue playing Auto in the northwest of the map, and in the southeast is Knuschelbär in the color green. And it looks like it was a food start, not a wood start, so we won't be seeing. We'll probably see an early trading post for the Onman player, but not for Knuschelbär.
Yeah. So still with a food start, he still gets 400 wood to start off with. So
Yeah.
that's enough to make a house and trade post.
Real quick, we might have to. I'm looking at resource balance here. Knuschelbär kind of has his second hunt is right there, but his third is kind of far.
Yeah, it's a little bit far maybe. So perhaps a quick restart would be a good idea.
I'm gonna restart this map just because his hunts are super far away, whereas Kaiserklein has 2, and even his third hunt is as close to his town center as Knuschelbär's second. So I'm gonna call this real quick. Within the minute,
There
hopefully
should be one here. There should have been maybe a little bit further, but of course, since it's a finals as well, we have to be a little bit more strict on the.
I prefer to call it. I prefer to be safe rather than sorry. And okay, one player agrees. So we'll get a quick restart here. Like we said, we just want this to be good for the viewers and good for the players. And what's good for the viewers is a competitive series. So we'll get.
Problem with generated maps, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm still hoping one day we will have a whole tournament with just fixed maps like StarCraft, but
That'd be interesting for just like a single tournament and see how it plays out.
like a weekend tour, so it's just like
Yeah.
one weekend, do some crazy map stuff.
That would be fun to watch.
I have no idea how the balance would change. I mean, scouting would be a whole different thing. You only have to scout for the treasures, really.
Yeah. It would be interesting if you made the treasures fixed as well. That would probably just kind of favor civilizations that are just good in Age 1, though, because
Yeah,
you already
that-
know where the good treasures are. So, all right.
It doesn't make scouting really a skill anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can just, like, if you're Spain and you spawn with the war dog, you can just right-click the best treasure on the map and just deny it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So keeping those random is good. But all right, we're clicking back into game number 5 after a quick rehost. And,
yeah, let's see if it's better now. Looks like both of them are now having their third hunt a little bit farther away. So,
yeah, this looks fair to me. The second and third hunts are about the same, and the fourth hunt is also about the same distance. So looks good.
quite far away, which is good.
Yep.
All right. We also have the same start again, it seems like. So 400 wood for the Ottoman player and just 100 wood for the Iroquois player.
That's correct. And interesting enough, Kaiserklein is immediately laying down a mosque instead of something like a trading post and a house. And I wonder if he wants to just like kind of. Oh nope, never mind. He's
going for both. Yeah.
Oh, it was a wood start. Okay, I missed that. So, they are spawning with 100 extra wood than they did last time, and so I believe
now
so.
to build a trade post, a mosque, of course, for even more extra XP, and a house. So pretty good start for him.
Yeah, definitely. And Iro is picking up this 80 food right in the middle of the map, and he's gonna get a couple of shots off on the Ottoman. Oh, he gets the snare in, and but this isn't gonna be a big deal. I mean, both explorers are pretty high hit points, so Kaiser's just gonna be able to walk back to his town center and.
Yeah, Knuschelbär not going to snare him for longer, just going to start shooting him.
Yeah, and
he did lose his bear.
Yeah, he wants to build a trading post of his own. He chopped a little bit of wood.
Yeah.
So that's going to be laid down. And so in the meantime, Kaiserklein's going to have a little bit of free reign on some treasures he sees. Potentially 90 food, but he doesn't quite walk that way. Trying to look at the big treasures on this map. We do have the CDB, which is very strong.
With his Travaux, and now he's building his longhouse all the way over here. So I'm hoping Kaiser won't scout that too early because it's quite vulnerable there, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And instead it looks like he's just going to go for 90 food. But I wonder if Knuschelbär will scout this and bring his explorer over this way. And it looks like he does. We're going to have potentially a little bit of contention.
Yeah, Kaiser may be in time to actually take the treasure without any competition, but he needs to be quick.
Yeah. Oh, he will get it, but he's going to get snared again.
It's the same treasure, so 80 food for both of them, 90 for Kaiser. But he might lose his hero there. I'm not.
Yeah,
HP lower.
It's pretty low. He potentially can break the snare. It's a little tricky to do, but if you hit melee and click away at just the right time, you can break the snare. But like I said, it's pretty tricky. At the very least, you can try to minimize the damage your explorer takes, and so you might be able to make it back to his town center without actually dying.
Yeah, and also he's like now 1/3 to aging up, so he probably won't like immediately die here.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, still takes a significant amount of HP, and Knuschelbär's hero not losing any, so that's also significant.
Yeah, and what this does do is takes away any like ATP options that maybe Ottoman wanted to do, but Kaiser doesn't even have that card in his deck. And it looks like he's saving his second Age 1 shipment here, which is smart. If we look at the Ottoman deck, which is kind of important because Ottomans can do a lot of different things, it looks to be just actually pretty standard. And in fact, a lot of Avis cards in Age 2, which kind of makes me think perhaps we'll just see Age 2 Jan Avis, and a couple forward-based villagers. So
yeah, exactly. So a little bit more aggressively than your standard FF, but of course, Knuschelbär may. Did he scout the villagers walking forward or not?
I don't think he did, and Kaiserklein
Don't
kind of
think so,
led with his explorer, I think, to make sure that didn't happen. Although now Knuschelbär is maybe going to scout this Rax here, and he spawns with the Travois, so he can place that wherever he wants. He has to be careful, though. I mean, I don't know. Well, from the Travois, of course, military shipments can spawn, and so actually Eero could just place this on top of the barracks and just send their
Big button.
yeah, their big button. Maybe send 6 tomahawks or 4 Kanye horsemen. And
Look at that! He actually wanted to place it right on the barracks. I
yeah,
heard,
it
like,
hasn't been.
building being
Oh,
destroyed.
Kaiser is gonna melee.
It's gonna-
It's gonna go
Yeah.
up. It's not gonna get. Oh, he is blocking it. Wow.
Oh, blocked. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is brutal. I mean, if this
I-
warhut was already up. Oh no.
Maybe you can send it right next to the trade post.
Oh, that is so much further back than he wants. I mean, this is just going to be late. Kaiser's going to get full extra batch of units out because of this. But these villagers are vulnerable to
You're
these.
gonna do that too.
Yeah.
Down maybe. Let's see if the Janissaries pop out in time.
Nah, I mean, they're out, but both villagers are going to fall. And these need to go into volley mode here to pick up some HP.
Three
There they
hits.
go.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's saved. He only lost like a half a Kenya.
Yeah, and I mean,
He
all
only sent
things.
3 of them forward.
Yeah, I was looking for the 4th one. It's picking off this explorer. All things considered, I mean, this late warhut isn't so bad for Knuschelbär, right? He's got
Yeah.
he's
there's
just built
tomahawks.
5 tomahawks. He's got an eagle eye with the explorer, and actually he can probably take this fight with the cavalry.
Under the warhead fire, so that helps him too. And now he's just
Yeah.
taking it.
And
pure
the
tomahawks and
grizzly
bear.
bear is
Yeah.
tanking, and he's actually just going to raid with his Kanyes, which I like a lot because there's no stable yet out for the Ottoman player, and there won't be for a long time.
Kenya can do some damage. Of course, Kaiser knows that they're coming, so he should be on top of his fills right now. He's
Yeah.
even sending 4 Janissaries back just to defend him because he knows, well, pushing in right now is not really possible. Here, there are more Ayana popping out, so
Yeah, and I mean, there's only the 1 barracks out for Kaiserklein. There's no other military building. I mean, you almost think Knuschelbär can just take this with another batch of units. And I'm looking at text completed. Neither player has built their market yet, or researched anything out of there. The
artillery foundry coming out.
oh
here,
yeah, so he
and
wants
Hussars
to.
popping.
Yeah, to be honest, I think 3 Hussars was kind of the response he needed. Otherwise, if he sends Janissaries back from this barracks, he just loses it to infantry. And you have to stop these raids somehow, so. 3
Exactly.
Hussars coming
So
out. Maybe not the card you want, though, because it's not crates to fuel your spam.
3 Kenyas left, so those Hussars haven't been really effective yet. But now they're coming in against Ayana, and Knuschelbär can like lose all his military units here.
Yeah, he's gonna need big button here for sure because 5 Hyena just pop out the other side. It's a good position. The Kanyas are coming in, but he needs the big button tomahawks to spawn right now in order to save these Hyena. And right now this is just an unfortunate case of just not having the right composition, not having enough units because these 3 Hussars are actually doing a lot of damage now. And these Hyenas all fall. And I mean, suddenly Ottoman's up 17-0 military population. This is huge.
Yeah, exactly. 700 coin now coming out. Let's see. Probably just going to spam some abyss with that. He's now building his artillery foundry again. And perhaps he can just take down the warhead entirely. And then I don't know what Knuschelbär is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, the warhead's going to fall. Knuschelbär does not have the wood to rebuild it. He's not building it already. He spawns 6 tomahawks, but there's just too many Janissaries here. He's taking sort of inefficient trades. And
Yeah, another eagle eye. That's nice. But still, it's 10 to 5 up there. So
yeah. And he's losing the Explorer again. That's 100 experience to the Ottoman player. He just sent another card. More Aina coming out. I mean, he might be able to save... I don't know.
not yet. Let's see, what can Knuschelbär even send here? He's got a card ready. The only thing he can really send is 600 wood, 600 gold, or maybe 5 fails.
Yeah, I mean, he just sent his hyenas. I think you have to send the... I don't know. You really want 5 bill. I mean, he's really prolonging his 5 bill here.
I'm not quite sure what is the best pick here. Maybe the wood can help him pump out some more tomahawks without gathering all the wood.
Yeah, and I think he needs to add Kanye's. I think he needs to build a stable and send the wood because I mean there are now 5 Avis out and their infantry just can't touch this. Like this, the Avis trades so well with other infantry, especially these sort of low HP hyena units. That yeah, and I mean
he did send a 600 wood, and he did ship it to his town center, not his forward warhead. So not all is lost yet, but he needs to make a stable now quickly because the 5 Abyss are now right next to his warhead, and those Ayana aren't gonna cut it.
yeah, this warhead's gonna fall for sure now actually, and nice job reviving the Explorer that can potentially snare some units. 5 more Aina popping out, but he's just sort of trickling units right now. Knuschelbär, once Kaiserklein got that initial 17-0 military lead, and now he's laying down a new war hut, but he still is having difficulty catching up, and Stagecoach is in play now, so this is going to supplement the Ottoman economy very nicely, and he's even going to save this last TP with Avis. We might see some nice kind of split micro here. Yeah, I think both of these tomahawks are going to fall. Almost, not quite.
And Knuschelbär's hero is still walking around in the battlefield, are now going get shot down by the Abyss guns.
It got a nice eagle shot off, but it's gonna fall down again. That's the 3rd time he's lost it this game, and I mean that's 300 experience to Kaiserklein, and this last trading post is gonna fall down before he gets the pass. I mean that's pretty big. That's like 100 wood or something, and just more crates for the Ottoman player. He's just fueling his maths, and pretty soon, I mean, what's going to kill this Jan Avis army? It's going to be very difficult.
Just 3 Ayana popping out. There are some Kanya out, but still 50 Janissaries on the field, so he's got all the anti-cav he needs.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, these Kanyas are pathing to go raid, but they're not going to find much because Kaiser's army is sort of in the middle of the map, and oh, he's trying to kill this trading post. I see. It was never repaired by Kaiserklein, so that's a nice pickup, but is it going to be enough? HP. Yeah, he loses his stable in the process, and
going to lose his ward probably. The Janissaries provide more than enough siege, and Abyskun can just keep on picking on the Ayana.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he shut 5 villagers, 10.5 minutes, but I mean, another 5 Aina popping, and just immediately 2 are dying. And yeah, he's in a real tough pickle here. He's trying to pick off some Abyss reinforcements, I think, but instead he's just gonna lose at least 1 horseman.
The hero to prevent even more trade posts from coming up, but he still got 2 of them, and I'm not quite sure what he can do here. He still doesn't have a warhead backup.
Yeah, he's gonna pick off 1 villager, potentially 2 if well, I don't know. We might see a pretty nice pull from Kaiser or something. He doesn't have. Wow, that villager gets away. Doesn't even have greatcoat. This low HP was not spotted.
Doesn't even matter.
It really doesn't because I haven't even. I wasn't even looking at this fight. I mean, look at what's going on in base. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to build a warhead, but can't even get it up. And at this point, I just think it's over.
Yeah, it definitely is. Way more villagers have fallen down for Knuschelbär here, and 5 Janissaries are kicking out those horsemen in base. And I mean, this Eero Explorer is going to fall again, and I mean that's huge. That's an aura HP bonus for the Eero units, and so keeping that guy alive is sort of crucial for Iroquois, and he just hasn't been able to do it this game, and it's too little too late with the 2 Stagecoach TPs. Ottoman is ahead in eco, decidedly ahead in military, and no military buildings. He's building his 3rd war hut at 12 minutes.
He's lost almost all of his Abyss guns, but he still's got more than enough Janissaries to siege down every warhead or trade post that Knuschelbär is trying to build, and this small raiding army isn't really going to cut it.
No, especially now that Ottoman has added hussars of his own, so he's going to be able to respond to these raids really well. He is going to lose another villager, but he's only lost 4 villagers in response to Iroquois' 8, so he's definitely coming out ahead in that.
Knuschelbär's macro is also quite off. I mean, he's got a lot of food in his bank, but
I think he's trying to age. He shipped coin, and so
I think so too.
It's
I
just.
mean,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can just right click on the town center right now and just, yeah, there it is. There's GG.
yeah,
You can just right click and siege it down. So GG.
GG, and that's a quick 4-1 lead for Kaiserklein. And
Yeah,
actually,
definitely.
I think blocking that war hut turned out to be more consequential than I initially thought, because that's delaying a batch of units by that much, and Knuschelbär just was never able to get enough units out to defend against the early Janissary presence, coupled with the 3 Hussars, and it just that kind of took away the game from there.
Yeah, definitely. And well, don't forget to update the score.
Yeah, I figured that out about halfway through the game, so that's my mistake.
All right. Yeah, well, it's hard to remember. Everyone makes that mistake.
Yeah.
So at the graphs here, but yeah, really it doesn't tell you much more than we already saw. From the start on, Knuschelbär was quite late with his army, of course, and Kaiser just had a real good trade there at that warhead when the Kenya were away. So I think from there he just steamrolled it into a victory.
Yep. There's an updated map pool with Mendocino, and both players get their 2 vetoes. I expect Kaiser to stick with his Alaska and Cascade range. Yep, there it is.
He's just sticking to the same things he wants to veto.
Yep. It seems like Kaiser's had a pretty solid game plan coming into this series. I think he's got matchups that he's wanted, or at least the certain civs on the right maps. And I even think that the French build was practice against Brit there. It just didn't quite work out for him. But he's coming into the series, I think, pretty well prepared, and I think it's showing. So I'm going to grab a quick glass of water, but I will be right back.
So yeah, in this last, well, maybe last game, it's right now match point for Kaiserklein. Let's see what they're gonna do. Knuschelbär is vetoing Manchuria. So what matchup can we expect here? I haven't really gotten a good overview of all the civs they've played so far. Take a quick look at the rules for everything. So yeah, maybe now is a good time to also announce, but provide you more information about our next tournament, which is in autumn. I think in August, which sounds far away, but it's just one vacation away. We will have the autumn tournament starting, and I think the signups are actually starting in August, so that should be really amazing. Also, we have Saturday SmackDown, maybe trying to make a comeback. The glorious casting team H2O and Interjection have got plans to start that up again and try to cast a series every Saturday. So the Saturday SmackDowns. Maybe SirCallen knows when the autumn tournament starts exactly. I'm not quite sure about the dates, but it's coming for sure. We have had some donations already rolling in to provide the prize money for the autumn tournament, so keep on donating. Of course, I will thank you a lot for your donations, and of course our subscribers who just subscribed today, thank you a lot for subscribing to us. We will have channel emotes pretty soon, and until then you do provide us with support to host our tournaments, and yeah, of course, thanks a lot for that. Fighting Frenchman, Satire, Nick's crew, Noel, Xiliflower, and Duck, thanks a lot for your subscriptions and for supporting ESOC.
For sure, very, very well said. I got back in regards to the autumn tournament. I don't know exactly when it starts, but I know that information will be out on July 15th. I think that's when signups begin and we get the maps and the rules all fleshed out. So coming up very soon, guys, in a couple weeks.
Grand Tour playoffs and it's Kaiserklein versus Knuschelbär. Kaiser is up 4-1 right now, which means that this is match point. If Kaiser wins, then the series is over, and if Knuschelbär wins, then the series continues. And yeah, just gonna click right in because they did decide their map and they did decide their civs last time before it got interrupted. So alright. In the top right of the map, we see Knuschelbär in the color green playing Sue, and in the bottom left we see Kaiser in the color blue playing Eero. And yeah, I'm not too familiar with this matchup because these are both civs I've never really played much of, but I have watched some games. Okay, so Kaiser's going right for the center of the map. Knuschelbär is going to take this 85 wood, and I don't think Kaiser sees it, so he's going to take that uncontested. And in the center of the map there's this 150 coin, and there's also a War Hut treasure, which is useful for both of these civs. Wouldn't be surprised to see them fighting over these two mid treasures later. Kaiser taking 90 wood. And oh, so Kaiser's hurting these yaks with his travois, but Noosh has found it and he's gonna start hitting the travois and travois. I just realized I was butchering that pronunciation, and yeah, so Kaiser's gonna push him off of it here, and nothing too bad. He's gonna continue scouting with this travois, and he's actually matching Noosh on yaks because of this like travois scouting, despite the fact that the Sioux Explorer is much faster than the Eero Explorer. And I guess Sioux has an advantage over Eero in Age 1, but yeah, I'm not really 100% sure because I'm not too familiar with the matchup, but I would imagine. Looks like Noosh is gonna try to take out Kaiser's Explorer here. He has another pet coming in, and Kaiser has a pet as well, but it looks like it's gonna be too late. And Kaiser is for sure going to lose this Explorer. He does get the crack shot off, which means he will trade pets here. So he's not moving these two yaks back from the... Okay, he's doing so now. No. He's not moving these two yaks back from the longhouse because of how fast the Sioux Explorer is. There's a chance that it would, by chance, intercept these yaks on their way to the TC. And Noosh is going to take this yak behind Kaiser's base. This started up so fast. I'm just checking the hunts now. Okay, they look okay. So now that Noosh has free reign on the treasures, he can take these two OP treasures in the middle of the map. What is although his Explorer is lower on HP, so Kaiser is up already. Should put this on shipments. Oh, Noosh has his Mongo rider by Kaiser's Explorer, so he's going to be able to see when Kaiser sends something to pick it up. Both players taking a trade post. Kaiser's will be much slower than usual because he lost his Explorer and having to build with a Vil. That's one of the big disadvantages of losing an Explorer in Age 1 with the Civ that needs to build a route, the Vil seconds, and the fact that it's much slower. And this is the version of Manchuria where they both spawn with basically their own personal route behind their base. So I wouldn't be so. It looks like Noosh is going to stagecoach, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaiser stagecoach as well. He did pick up his Explorer here. Both sending 5 Vils first, so looks like more boom oriented strats. From what I've seen, Eero can rush. Oh, he does have this forward war hut though, which he put on top of this 150 coins, so he will be able to take that at his leisure later. So it looks like it might actually be a rush from Kaiser, a Tomahawk rush, but it's not all in because he did send 5 Vils first. Meleeing this Vil with his Explorer while the Tomahawks get in range. And then he's going to start sieging the TPs, which is underrated in my opinion because they, especially if the TPs are in front of the TC, because they don't have much HP, so they go down very fast. Even though it is only a minor inconvenience, the Noosh is immediately rebuilding it. Looks like Noosh is macroed to age, but he did train 5 bow riders. Picking off another Vil there. And sending 600 wood. They arrived at the war hut, which is not ideal, but the Noosh isn't going to push out anytime soon, it looks like, so it's also not the end of the world. 6 Setons coming in for Noosh, so it actually does look like he's going to push out, but I think he's just raiding with his bow riders right now. Gonna look for Vils, but all of Kaiser's Vils are in his, like, by his TC, so I don't think he's going to lose any. I'm getting caught out by the Tomahawks here. Intercepted. Oh, shit. And I forgot the score too. Like I said, I didn't expect the stream to start up so quickly. They were both on like 3 minutes ahead of time, but anyway. So he's continuing to raid with these bow riders. Forcing the Tomahawks back into Kaiser's base, which means Noosh isn't under any pressure anymore. And yeah, and also another thing to point out is the way his longhouse and warhead is positioned. It gives him a nice line of sight in the middle of the map, so he's going to be able to see most of Knuschelbär's bow rider movements. Okay, Noosh is aging now. He's halfway through with a fast age politician. Tomahawk's nicely positioned to force away these bow riders, picking off one. And this is the shipment that has been recently buffed. It gives 400 food instead of 200 food, and the usual 200 wood and 200 coin. And I think Kaiser's gonna use that to get up here. But he is behind, but he is slightly ahead in economic population. And he's gonna catch out Knuschelbär's war hut. He took the treasure, and so that's a wagon. That's like the 5th wagon that Knuschelbär has lost in this series, if you count the. Okay, so he has 10 rifle riders out. I think I actually like this because Kaiser has a large tomahawk mass right now. If Knusch can catch this out, I think he'll just clean it up. And it looks like he's heading that way, but Kaiser's smartly pulling back because he knows he's late on aging up, so he can't take any fights right now. But Knuschelbär wants it. He's gonna go in. Playing very carefully here. Kaiser's veteran upgrade has come in. And gonna check this. Okay, Kaiser did lose 3 vills. So I think I missed that. Maybe while I was adjusting the donation bar or something. And these force barrels are gonna get caught out. The tomahawks are in position. And Knuschelbär is just gonna go in here. The explorer and melee taking a lot. Tomahawk's also getting into melee. They have 3 times versus Cav. They're very strong in melee. And Knuschelbär is just forced back here. So yeah, I think that was a good trade for Kaiser, especially since Sue wants to like get a big massive units and then attack usually. And so he's building teepees here, but losing 2 vills while doing so, and. His axe riders aren't upgraded yet, and neither are his bow riders, so. And I think this is pretty good when Knusch positioned his war hut. He can easily walk from this position down here to harass Kaiser's villagers as he's doing with these axe riders. And this is a pretty massive raid actually. It's 4 vills down, and more to come. And Kaiser's just, he knows he has to push in to make something happen. Because now Sue is ahead in eco, which usually isn't where you want to be. But with the 5 curs, he may be able to clean up this fight. I think that was insane, like 6 Joaquinas dying at once. I think that was the area damage from the Kurz, and then maybe the Explorer got a crack shot off. I think that's what caused that. And yeah, Kaiser winning that fight very decisively. And he is going to destroy that war hut. Nine tomahawks for Kaiser. So I think it's good that Kaiser used tomahawks for his anti-cav this game instead of musket riders. It has been working out for him in all these really close range fights with so 3 dogs coming in for Knuschelbär, but alone it's not going to do much. And Kaiser's just going to push in here. Okay, his Explorer is still dead. Yeah. Both of them, their Explorer's still dead. So Kaiser moving in here. So Nushas wants to protect this fire pit and the bulls that are dancing on it, but he can't really engage into this massive tomahawks either. Oh, and while this has been going on, he's had 1 Kur hitting the vills here. Combined with the fire pit, that's now a total of 16 vills lost for Knuschelbär, compared to 7 for Kaiser. And so Knuschelbär is going to try for 1 last engagement, and this will probably be the final engagement in the series. 2 rifle riders coming in from the side. Yeah, he doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough units, basically. And yeah, and he's just gonna call it. So. Kaiser's gonna take the win and win the series and win the playoffs. Let's look at Vils. Yeah, it was about 8 minutes when Kaiser lost those 3 rounds. So Kaiser was losing a couple of those to bow rider raids, but like while this was happening, while Kaiser was losing like 4 vills on his hunt, he immediately pushed in on Knuschelbär's army and took a really decisive fight that won the series that won the game for him, and as a result in the series as well. And so that's it. Like I said, this was match point for Kaiser, so he's gonna be the grand champion of the weekend tournament events. And so yeah, congrats to him.